Welcome to the tutorial video on Module 2's Capstone Activity. Now this is where it's starting to get exciting because we're going to be applying what you just learned to your own horses and we're going to start evaluating their diets. Now we just looked at energy and protein, so we're going to start there, and then in follow-on modules we'll look at other aspects of your horse's diet. Now in Module 1 you were tasked with picking your horse, right? And then identifying if you're exercising them or not, and at what level of exercise you're using with them. Now you need to write out what you're feeding them. And then as a reminder for me, as my example horse, I'm using Tari, 8-year-old quarter horse mare. I ride her lightly, some trail rides. Sometimes it's a little moderate, but overall is light. Now, when I look at what I'm feeding Tari, I'm feeding 2% of her body weight per day in dry matter. Now, Tari weighs about 1,000 pounds. That's about 450 kilograms. So I feed her 22 pounds of Timothy hay every day. And when we take into account the moisture content, which is about 10%, that equals to about 20 pounds of hay in dry matter. Now, in kilograms, that's 9 kilograms of hay fed, or 8 kilograms dry matter. Now, in the next step, I'm going to walk you through how to use Mad Barnes' nutritional calculator. This is an excellent tool that can just help give you an idea if you are either not meeting your horse's needs, meeting their needs, or greatly exceeding their needs. Now, you can find this at madbarn.com. Go to the Learn tab, and down you can see Nutrition Calculator. Then this is going to come up and there's going to be some things that we need to input for this to work. Now you can look at this, and I just want to give a quick disclaimer. This is for demonstration purposes, and this is based on NRC guidelines on nutrient requirements for the horse. So everything's based in metric, so you we'll see that in the output, but in the inputs, you can change it to imperial here if you'd like. So for those of us that are from the United States or live in the United States, you can use pounds. I'm going to keep it in metric just for these demo purposes. Now, my mare Tari, I know she's about 1,000 pounds, so that's about 450 kilograms. And so I put that in there. Then her birth date, the exact day isn't going to matter as much because she's an 8-year-old mare, but she was born on the 11th of March in 2016. So as I record this in 2024, that will make her 8 years old. Now, physiological status. This drop-down menu has different categories. Again, this is based on the NRC and how they categorize horses. So exercising, growing, she's not a growing horse because she's 8 years old. She's not a brood mare, so she's not pregnant or lactating, and she's definitely not a stallion. So she is exercising, and I'm riding her lightly each week. Sometimes we get moderate, or for her, never heavy or very heavy, but you can see those choices there. Now, again, this is according to NRC, so light. Next, we're going to look at her forage because that's the foundation of her diet. Now, Tari isn't on pasture, so she's getting hay, and I select that, and it's going to give me choices of what type of hay, a grass or legume hay. Now, for me, Tari, she's getting a Timothy hay, so that's a grass hay, and I'm not giving it to her free choice. So it's rationed, and I'm giving her about 22 pounds. So to go to Imperial, I can click there and do pounds. Or you can just put in how many flakes of hay you're giving your horse each day. So I'm giving her about 22 pounds, which is about 20 pounds of dry matter when I take out that moisture content. Now, if I was giving her some alfalfa or another legume, I could put that there, but I'm not. Now, location, very important, as you're going to find out in Module 3, because hay is going to have different nutrient value based on where you live in the world. Now, I'm going to base this where I used to live back when I was in Florida, and I'm going to put Ocala, and you can see that pops up right there, Ocala, Florida. Now, feeding program. Here you can see there are many feeds that are commonly fed in North America. So you can go through that list and pretty much find the feed that you're giving your horse. If you don't find the particular feed because you're based somewhere else in the world, find something comparable for these demonstration purposes. Now, I know Tari needs a vitamin mineral mix. So I'm going to go down and give Mad Barn's product, but feed it in pellets. So I don't have to worry about anything to deliver that. And then automatically the manufacturer's recommendations by Mad Barn, 200 grams per day. Okay. Next, I'm going to calculate diet. And you can see it gave me a bunch of values. Now, for this in Module 2, we just want to focus on the top part. In Module 3, we'll look at this. And then in Module 4, we'll play around some more with this nutrient calculator. But here, if I look at what I'm feeding Tari every day, again, just 22 pounds of grass hay with a vitamin mineral mix. Dry matter intake's about 99% of what the NRC recommends for a 1,000-pound horse or 450 kilogram horse at light exercise. So I'm about meeting her dry matter needs. Then when I look at her energy needs, it's just under her caloric needs. So in Module 4, we'll talk about the underweight horse or the overweight horse and see if I might need to adjust that based on Tari's body condition score. When I look at protein, I'm more than fine, and that's typical. We have good quality protein in our hays, so her crude protein requirements are being met. Her essential amino acid of lysine is also being met. So no adjustments needed there. So overall, when I look at this, I am meeting her needs, right? And as we go on in this course, you're going to see how we can look at some of these other values and make decisions on what we're feeding our horses. Now, how do we interpret these results? When I showed you my mare Tari and we were looking at dry matter intake, required was 9 kilograms and her intake was just under that. So it was 99%. When I looked at her energy, I was about 98% of what her daily caloric needs are. Now, this is according to the NRC, National Research Council. And I need to monitor Tari's body condition score to ensure she's getting those calories. And she's been maintaining a good body condition score of 5. So I have no concerns there. Then when I look at the crude protein content of the diet that I was feeding Tari, I was at 141%. Now I'm just feeding her good quality grass hay. Can't change much of that. So she's doing okay there. And then when I look at the essential amino acid lysine, she's at 154% of her daily requirement. We're fine there. So with your own analysis, you can look at, are you feeding not enough energy, just right, or too much? And in a follow-on module, we'll talk about feeding the underweight horse and the overweight horse and what that means. So we'll get back to that part of the diet. And then also the protein. Are you meeting their requirements? Are you exceeding the requirements, or is there not enough? Is there any changes you can make to ensure you're meeting your horse's dietary needs? Now, in the next module, we're going to start looking at forages, and we're going to get back to this nutrition calculator and look at all those other nutrients to talk about what that means. So look for that.